Yes, guys. Hello and welcome back to the Spurs-related YouTube channel and podcast. I hope everyone's doing very well on this very hot Saturday afternoon. 30 degrees in England. Absolutely lovely. But today we are looking at another transfer target of Tottenham Hotspur. It's one we wanted to do a video on separately to everyone else and do some more transfer target individual stats analysis and breakdowns with Andre of SpursRelated alongside me today. Andre, how you doing, mate?
I'm doing well. I'm going to be honest. I don't know who the hell this is. You're going to need to convince me that this is someone we need to get. I made my point very clear. We need to get some established players. So, all you, man.
Well, today I am going to tell you differently. This 19-year-old from Bristol City in the Championship has taken that league by storm this year. He is absolutely fantastic. He reminds me of a young Jack Grealish, but a more central version of him in midfield. He can play centre mid, CDM, right mid, even just behind the striker. He is a baller. Loads of you in the comments in the Spurs Relatables have been saying about this guy, and I've done my homework. I've been watching him a little bit this season. I'm not going to pretend I know everything about him, so you guys could probably even educate us further, but we have a treat today. I've even got some footage of him playing that I can hopefully try and get Andre on board with this Alex Scott hype. Do I want him over Tillerman? Sorry. Do I want him over Maddison? Potentially. And the reason why is if we're having to pay 40 to 50 million for Maddison, I think this guy could get to Maddison's heights. He's 19 years of age, whereas Maddison is 26 years of age. This guy, in the next 1, 2, 3 years, is going to absolutely skyrocket in price. He's already gone from a £5 million market value player to a £25 million market player in the space of about 6 months. He's really taken the league by storm this year. His stats don't blow it out the water in terms of wow factor, but he's a centre mid. You've got to remember that. And also Pep Guardiola, when Bristol City played Manchester City in the FA Cup, Pep even spoke about him and said, this guy is going to be good. So I wouldn't even be surprised if Man City are in for him as well. Just some very basic stats to start off. Like I said, last year, he was in 2021, he was valued at 300k. And then into 2022, he sort of rose to about 6 million at the start of last season. And now he's valued at over 20 million pounds. For me, if we get him for 20 million pounds, it's a steal because I genuinely believe this guy is going to be worth 50, 60 million pounds in 4 or 5 years. I know that's a big statement, but look at Dele Alli. We paid 5 million for that guy. And obviously, we ended up letting him go on a free, and it was a massive shame how that turned out. But what a player Dele Alli was for those few seasons. People were saying he was worth Real Madrid prices of like 80 to 100 million pounds. I really do believe that this is the next gem in the Championship. He is ranked number 2 among all Championship players, according to Transfer Market. He is ranked 13 in the rankings of top youngsters aged between 19 and 20 years old. In terms of centre mids in the world, Transfer Market have him down as the top 60 amongst England players as well. I know I don't want to just go on one source, but I've also found, as per Infogol, some stats about his chances created. And the one that sticks out for me is the best one, is he likes to shoot 34 shots in 39 games from centre mid, 1 a game, 1.8x XG, on target 10, off target 10. But also, this is the key one. Assists 5 and only 3.7 expected assists. So this guy creates chances where potentially there wouldn't have been a chance for many other players. He's tricky. He's dribbling close to his feet. He weaves in and out of midfielders and defenders very, very nicely. 80% pass completion rate. Andre, I know you like that stat. 1,418 passes, 1,135 complete is pretty good to me. Disciplinary, he likes a yellow card, 10 yellows, so maybe he's a bit of a bullish kind of player with a bit of aggression. But this is one of the ones that stood out for me. In 39 matches in the Championship, he was fouled 50 times. So he likes to win a free kick, which is very important. And it's a type of style like Jack Grealish where he gets defenders almost to a situation where they have to foul him because he's darting towards the penalty area. He is a talent, this guy, and I genuinely believe he is going to be wanted by a number of clubs. And I guarantee now, you can clip me saying it, that a few Premier League clubs are going to be after him this summer.
Those stats actually sound very good. I'm actually a little surprised that he's flown under the radar for me. But you do have to realize this is a champion. I think Bristol City's in the championship, right?
Yep.
I think that it could be easier to get those kind of stats in the championship than in the Premier League. I think that a part of me, you know what it is? I think it's just the fact that we've signed so many young players and I haven't seen a single one really, break into the first team and be this sort of player that you're trying to sell me on right now. Again, Sarr being the exception because he has made his way into the first team. Managers saying that, oh, this might be the next great player, to me doesn't say much because Mourinho was saying that Oliver Skipp was going to be the next captain. And literally we're not even thinking about that. People want him out, some people. So I'm just concerned.
Okay. Pep Guardiola regarded him as an unbelievable player. What do you think of that?
Well, I mean, it's Pep Guardiola, so, obviously I'm going to take his word for it. But potential versus reality are two different things, and I'm just worried that a lot of times players don't meet that potential.
No, I get that. Well,
and imagine a youngster who's coming in, right, and he enters a club that's in the state that it's in. It'll affect him. I think it'll affect his growth.
I get it, and I also don't think this guy would come straight into our first team. I think he would bed in as a bench player and then get starts in the cup and also in maybe smaller games. But also, Ange Postecoglou likes the younger player in terms of developing them into a first team player, really, really improving their confidence, really putting his arm around them and saying, look, you are going to be a really good player. He's had experience for the Australian under 17s and 19s. He really transformed the way they played. I really think he's going to bring in a lot of young players in the next 2-3 years if he is the manager, obviously, for that time. And I genuinely believe that this guy will be if we're sensible, this will be one of the guys on our radar. And Andre, I want to show you a bit of footage and the Spurs-Relatables watching of this guy. I'm not going to play 10 minutes, but I'm going to show you a few snippets of how good this guy is, all right?
Okay. Let's see. Maybe this will convince me, but
right.
I don't know, man.
So obviously this is a bit of a montage from Hugo Films. Big yourself up, mate. Let's have our reaction as well. So this guy, you'll see what I mean about him being like a Grealish. He's got into the box there. Nice little finish, nice slide. But this is what I mean about Grealish. Step overs, nice dribbling, winning fouls, absolutely. I mean, he's just run through 3 players there.
Right. Okay. Championship players.
Look at that. You cannot tell me that is class.
I'm pretty sure Judson Fernandez did the same thing.
He's such a positive player. We need more positive players like this at Tottenham. Look, I mean, he's in there. He probably should have lost the ball.
He dribbled over the guy who just fell.
Andre, come on, mate. He's looking solid, this guy. 19 as well.
Oh, he got fouled there.
19, he's running rings around experienced players. Like, look at this. What a baller, mate. Honestly, I've been doing my research on this guy, and he genuinely looks like such a promising player.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? All jokes aside, he, to be doing all this at 19, that's awesome. Like, he's got so much confidence. Can he do it in the Premier League? That's the real question. And that's the thing that worries me, right? I don't want to have to ask that question when I get a player in. Maddison.
Did I even mention he was the Championship Young Player of the Year this year? I mean,
oh really?
Yeah, Championship Young Player of the Year. 19 years old.
I can see why. That's
And Bristol City didn't even finish too high up in the table.
Fair. You know what? Yeah. I mean, but if he's that good, don't you think other clubs will probably come for him?
Yeah, I know, but this is what I mean. We need to get ahead of the curve. We need to get ahead of the game. Look at his passing range as well. Look at
Yeah.
this passing. I mean, that
Yeah.
is ridiculous. That fine there. Here he here is a bit of his defensive abilities into an attacking play. You know, look at that turnover. Wins the ball and wins his team a free kick 30 yards out. Another
That's some
incredible
Bentancur
ball
level
there.
passes there. Good for him.
Look at that pass as well. Probably should have done better, the attacker on the end of that. And it again just sprays it. What a
Ooh.
tackle. And look, he just finds passes that not many players can do at that age as well. I mean, here, nice assist.
Yeah. I'll say this. If we get this guy in, right, you do not loan him out. Play him, make him a
Mm,
crucial part of the squad. I'm tired of signing these young players that are gonna apparently be awesome, and then we just keep loaning them out into teams where they're not really gonna grow, and then then they come into our team and they get benched and they come in for like 5 minutes when we're losing.
yeah, no, I
I'm not
get
trying
it.
to
I
have
get
that
it.
happen. So if we do sign him, right? Because I'm kind of being won over here. I'm really liking what I'm seeing. The stats show good things. He clearly has a lot of confidence on the ball, which is something that is very hard for someone who's 19, 20 just coming in, and hopefully he keeps that mentality going in, right? Sometimes you need that ego. I know that, for example, someone like you know Ronaldo, right? Some people, the Ronaldo versus Messi thing, it's like, oh, Ronaldo's got this big ego, but you need that. That's why he's so
Mm,
good. Part of it is the fact that he sits there and he says, you know what, I'm one of the best, or the best in
exactly.
this case, right? So if this guy is going to come in, he needs to Tottenham. He needs to know that he needs to be very confident, have that ego. Now, when he gets his chance, he shows the coach and everyone why he should have been playing from the minute he got signed.
A bit like
Um,
Dele Alli, the way he got in. Really, he took the world by storm.
yeah, just
Took
please
his
don't peak at
chance.
20. Don't peak at 26. That's all I ask.
I mean, I've got to rewind this one. This one is ridiculous. Watch this, Andre. He's got 3 or 4 players around him here. This next one here. Look how he keeps the ball. Done,
Yeah,
done, and still finds the through ball. Look at that footwork. That is ridiculous.
yeah, yeah. I can't. Wow. Yeah, and for 19, yeah, no, that I would say, you know what? If we got him, I would get him over Ward Prowse, to be honest. If he would have
I
really
think they're
showed
different.
his exact
I
same
think
kind
they're
of
different.
talent in the Premier League.
They're different players as well. I've heard
Yeah,
this
but just
guy.
going
I've
off
heard
of
this
our
guy
picks
takes
from
free kicks as
yeah,
well.
going off our picks from the last episode, which if you guys haven't checked it out, definitely go check it out.
Mm.
Yeah, I would pick him over Ward Prowse, to be honest. He's young. He clearly seems to have his way on the ball. He's confident. He can pick out a pass, a very long pass, which is good.
Yeah.
Um, and he seems to be able to keep the ball, and he's very, how to say it, his priority is possession. You can
Look at
tell, like,
this. He just
yeah,
drives. He's confident. He's like Grealish. He makes things happen. He's like
yeah,
a hybrid between Grealish and Maddison. This is what my conclusion is.
yeah. My
He
only
just
concern
makes it
still
tick.
My only concern still is the fact that he's doing all this stuff against championship players. These are players who, you know, they're not going to press as hard as a Premier League player would. They're not going to. They're going to be a bit more sloppy. I'm not trying to talk down the championship, but there is a level. There's two different types of levels there, right? So something to think about. But you know what? You've kind of won me over. And I will say, fun fact for those of you who don't know, but I'm sure most of you do, because I did do a bit of research when James was like, let's do one on Alex Scott. He's a Tottenham fan. He's a
Yeah,
Tottenham supporter. Um,
he is.
so that is it's very exciting to hear, because one thing we can offer him that the other teams can't is the fact that that's his club, right? We're his club.
Oh,
So
that's such a good point as well. Like, imagine Arsenal come in for him. It'll be like, I'm a Tottenham boy. If Tottenham come in for me, I'm going with these guys, right? I just really hope we go for him, because some of those stats I read out, some of that footage I showed you guys, hopefully makes you confident that this guy is the next big thing, especially from the Championship. Championship Player of the Year, one of the best, if not the best player in the Championship last season. Baller.
No, you know what? I've been won over. I would say if we were trying to sign a specific midfielder, and like you said, sometimes it's not about just the price, right? The experience. Sometimes if we can get a really good player, then let's just get him. And you know what? I've been convinced. I think this guy would be great, but mainly because I think this guy could be in the squad. The every match, if he's starting on the bench, then he gets placed into the team. I don't want to sign players that are going to get loaned out. And also, again, prioritize the project, right? You need to sign players who are going to start. Obviously, this one would be an investment because I personally think, based on what I just saw, the stats you just mentioned, everything he's accomplished so far, this would be a guy who would be in our squad, in our first team squad. And I would hope that he'd be included a lot. But, I hope we don't prioritize signing, someone like this, and then our starting 11 is still lacking. But I agree. This is one of those very exciting. Again, still concerned, a little worried because we've signed a lot of young players and they haven't really been starting for our team. But
Andre, we're gonna need depth. We're gonna need bench players. We're gonna need players for the future. This is why it's key to get this player on.
Well, not to mention it's been one season, right? Things can change, but I see your point. You've convinced me that Alex Scott is. I see now why you guys were all talking about him in the previous episode. Definitely,
Absolutely.
What a baller. Very, very hyped and very surprised that he flew under the radar for me. But now I know. I'm going to keep an eye on him. And then who knows? Maybe we can get him now and he'll actually be amazing. Especially the fact that he's a Tottenham fan. Who doesn't want to play for the club that they support, right?
Exactly. Guys, let us know in the comments below, Alex Scott, yes or no. Smash a thumbs up for this player review. Smash a comment, like I said, if you want to see Alex Scott at Tottenham. And if you don't, let us know why you don't want to see him. And maybe you want someone else instead. Hopefully this has been useful. Subscribe to the channel if you are new and follow the podcast. And as always, guys, remember, come on you Spurs!